Losses of more than 40 million EC dollars last year, the shareholder governments in regional carrier Liat are about to make some tough decisions. These will include job cuts and finally selling off some of the airline's old fleet. In another significant move, Barbados is being redefined and established as the primary hub for the airline. The revelations followed a meeting of the shareholders at the Hilton Barbados today. Ryan Broom has more.
Prime Minister Frundle Stewart has lauded the efforts to reverse Liat's fortunes. The new cost-cutting measures are being combined with a marketing strategy to help raise revenue.
Obviously, for many years now, so far as Liat is concerned, we've been pressing the same keys and therefore getting the same melody. And Barbados has made it very clear that we cannot continue on that trajectory. And therefore, the change of strategic direction is welcomed by Barbados. We expect to see a turnaround in Liat's fortunes.
Prime Minister Stewart says the moves will help Liat to be more responsive to the market.
Of course, once the whole issue of fleet renewal is complete and the disposal of the 7 remaining Dash 8s takes place, the reduction in the head count is completed. We think that Liat will be on a much more viable and sustainable footing, and that can only benefit not only the traveling public in the Caribbean, but the shareholder governments, of which Barbados is at present the largest.
Chairman of Liat Shareholder Governments, St. Vincent's Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, says that with a reduced fleet, it is simply no longer cost-effective to maintain the same staff levels. He is hopeful, however, that the majority of job cuts will come through voluntary separation.
In reducing the numbers of persons in this particular fleet, our network, we want to bring them down from 800 to about 620, which would save us about $13 million a year. Of course, we'll have to pay the severance costs of about $22 million.
The point was also driven home by Liat's chairman, Dr. Gene Holder.
We continue to spend 27% of our earned revenues on staffing, which means that we are carrying a much larger staff than we really should be carrying. And that matter has been made worse by the fact that we have reduced the number of aircraft that we operate. So we are carrying much fewer aircraft, and we are carrying the same number of staff.
Ryan Broom, CBC News.
Students at the University of the West Indies Cafil campus who applied for bursaries from the government are closer to getting them. On Thursday, Cabinet approved the financial support to the tune of $3 million for the current academic year. The Ministry of Education, in a release, says this tuition support recognizes that some students at the UWI will need such assistance to complete or continue their studies. It added that it will soon be communicating with those students whose applications were successful, as well as with the UWI. The ministry says it welcomes this intervention and regrets the length of time took to conclude this matter. We will have support. That's what the Barbados Teachers Union says will happen if it escalates industrial action next week. The BUT head says the support will come from members across the school system. President Pedro Shepherd made the disclosure this afternoon after another meeting with teachers from Parkinson Memorial and Alma Paris at the BUT headquarters. Mr. Shepherd says shop stewards from other educational institutions attended that meeting.
If we have to call them next week, I'm sure they will come because they have been asking for a long time, what next? When do you need us? And we, of course, had to say to them, well, we don't need you at this time, at this level. But of course, if we have to escalate or continue, I'm sure they're just a call away.
Mr. Shepherd says the Parkinson and Alma Paris teachers returning to work next week is conditional on a number of demands being met.
The environment must be safe, So one would expect that the knives and other weapons would be removed at Parkinson, and at both schools we would expect that the environment would be friendly and respectful and conducive to teaching and learning. If those conditions don't exist, then we are not sure what would happen when teachers report back to us next week.
The police are looking into another shooting incident, this time at Rollins Road, Christchurch, around 9:30 last night. It is reported that 57-year-old Whitstanley Harewood received gunshot injuries to both legs. A bag was also stolen from him. Harewood was taken to hospital by ambulance where he received medical attention. Well, 2 men are on the police wanted list this evening in connection with separate serious criminal matters, and both are considered armed and dangerous. Wanted is Damien Andre Mardonna Welch, 26 years old, of Montrose, Christchurch. He's about 5 feet 6 inches tall, slim build, dark complexion. He has black hair, dark brown eyes, thick lips, and a pointed nose. The police are also searching for O'Brien Fernando Knight, alias Country or Bandit, 47 years old, of Lovell Road, Messiah Street, St. John. He is about 5 feet 11 inches, of slim build, dark complexion. He has a partially grey dreadlock hairstyle, dark brown eyes, thick lips, and a pointed nose. He has a tattoo depicting the map of Africa and the words "One Love" on his left arm. Both men are advised they can present themselves to the police accompanied by an attorney at law. Any person who may know the whereabouts of Damien Andre Mardonna Welch and O'Brien Fernando Knight should contact the police emergency at telephone number 211, the nearest police station, or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIPS. That's 1-800-8477. The public is also reminded that it is a serious offence to harbour or assist wanted persons. Anyone caught committing this offence can be prosecuted. Meanwhile, another man who was on the wanted list, 31-year-old Javed Riyad Aline of Rockley, Christchurch, is now in police custody. He is assisting with an ongoing investigation into a serious criminal matter. Aline went to a police station earlier today, accompanied by an attorney at law. Well, the police have made a breakthrough in the investigation surrounding the unnatural death of Lamar Carter, 22 years, of Spring Farm, St. Thomas. His body was discovered in a motor car on Mangrove Road, St. Thomas. A man is assisting with the investigation. A man is also assisting police with their investigation into the murder of 53-year-old Victor Knight. The former Seclusion Road, Blackrock, St. Michael resident was discovered at his home earlier this month with what appeared to be stab wounds to his chest and neck. In other news now, Valentine's Day is just around the corner and some store managers are looking to see if they can make a profit. A CBC News team went into Bridgetown today, particularly Swan Street, to find out what's on sale for Valentine's. Lisa Broom has more.
For some stores, sales were a bit slow at the start of the week, but staff are hoping that it will pick up in the remaining days. Some of them are also having specials for the occasion, while others whose businesses are not located in the city brought some of their offerings down to grab what sales they could.
Well, for Valentine's, especially in the area with suits, and for gentlemen, we have red and white suits, we have the shirt, the tie, whether it's bow tie or long tie, we have waistcoats, and we have casual wear, which you get the right shirt, whether it's linen, or you can get the linen pants to go back with that for Valentine's dinner or whatever the occasion may be at this time.
We have roses in boxes, in sleeves, we have flower arrangements, we have fruit baskets, a multitude of choices of what you can. And we also have a system where you can order here, and we do the deliveries here, but you can also make your deliveries at our Willie office.
Well, we have teddy bears along with some chocolate package for Valentine's Day. You can come to So Cool Fashion and get your nice Valentine's gifts.
Two ladies who were fully dressed in their Valentine's colors are already prepared for the day.
This is my year every time for Valentine, because my birthday falls the next week after Valentine, like next Saturday the 21st, so I dress it so and enjoy myself for Valentine, the same thing I do for my birthday. I just love it.
I love Valentine's Day because I was a dancer, and when Valentine, you know, we need to dress up in our red and white and go dancing, so I love it. And when I go back home from too, I enjoy myself with my family, and thank God that I'm alive to enjoy another Valentine.
We then traveled to St. Philip 4 roads to be exact, and you would have easily thought it was Christmas. The light man, Leon Mears, was at it again, this time with red and white lights and a mannequin couple to mark the season of love.
My family did it years ago, and then they had bonnets and things, and enduring bonnets and things, and a lot of people like to light up, and a lot of people just believe in Christmas. But now that the recession on it, I still feel it should keep the spirit lively, you know. I really wanted to make the spirit lively, especially about just because things down, you still got to be very lively. And now me, I want to be there for everything I did. Valentine's Day will be my bet. I plan to do Easter too.
Not even the $2,000 he spent putting on the display could deter him, and he's promised that there will be even more before Christmas.
I plan to take it to a different level, you know. I plan to get guest houses and things to decorate. I did a wedding once. I dressed up a house by a wedding once in a retirement function, but I plan to take it further to a further level, you know.
The light man has even promised to serve up something special on Valentine's Day. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
More news after this break. Time now for you to give us your take on this question. Do you believe that having Liat as its hub, Barbados that is, will result in more business for Barbados? Text or note to the short code 811. The results are coming up after the break.
You just got into a car accident. Now you have to fix it and you don't have a cent. Don't worry, be happy. Your home got flooded out and you've lost it all, and chances to recover start to look very small. Don't worry, be happy.
Want to live the worry-free life today? Call us at Beacon or log on to beacon.co.tt. Beacon Insurance, switched on.
It's time once again to share the love. Come to the 4th annual Love, Poetry and Song Benefit Concert, the Lovers Edition, under the theme, Love Can Withstand Any Test. Saturday, February 14th at the beautiful Charles Fort Hilton Barbados Resort. Showtime is 7 p.m. Enjoy performances from Nexus, Adrian Green, Damian Marvey, Gigi Maat, Nisha Woods, Rebel Glam, Empress Zinga, DJ Simmons, and more. Donation $25. Get your tickets from all courts locations and CS Pharmacy, and bring your non-perishable food items on the night of the show. All proceeds will go to the HIV Food Bank and the Family Care Support Group, an HIV charity. Love, Poetry and Song, Saturday, February 14th at Charles Fort Hilton Barbados Resort at 7 p.m. Hosted by the Barbados Government Information Service.
Minister of Labour, Social Security and Human Resource Development, Senator Dr. Esther Bayer, has addressed the challenges associated with the Canada Temporary Foreign Worker Program. She spoke to the workers today about the halt in access to the food sector services for temporary workers, which was due to the Canadian government seeking to provide employment for Canadians. She said despite the halt, the government has received positive feedback from Canadian employers.
At the end of the day, you can't really fault the Canadians for trying to ensure these jobs for them. But we have had feedback from the employers that they still need the workers, the migrant workers. They still need the Barbadian workers. Those employers who have worked with Barbadian workers are so impressed and by the way you've handled yourself that they still want the Barbadian workers to come up. So they are still speaking to their government, and we are still speaking to the government of Canada to see what we can do to have that, that situation changed.
The Minister of Labour added that due to the good work ethic of Barbadian workers, they have received benefits.
In some cases, workers at hotels in Alberta have been offered also the option of applying for permanent residency in Canada after they've satisfactorily completed their contract. And I know that some have accepted that offer. So there is good news in the program still.
Another plea for men over 40 to get tested for prostate cancer. It comes from Vice President of the Barbados Cancer Society, Professor David Rossin. He was speaking at a presentation of a check for over $20,000 from the Shell Western Supply and Trading Company Limited to the Barbados Cancer Society. The funds were raised from various raffles and events by members of staff.
If you get cancer at a young age, 50 plus, 50 to 70, it really is quite an aggressive disease. And these are the people we really need to target, because everybody knows when they're older that they might have prostate troubles. They don't think about cancer. They think of prostate enlargement and having to pass urine a lot more often. But in the younger age group, they don't think about it. And we've actually had people here in Barbados as young as 40.
Mr. Austin added that these funds raised will be used to improve technology to test men.
We're held up at the moment by the fact we don't have the right needles, so that's a problem. In United Kingdom, they have special MRIs which are so sensitive. I think, in fact, in a year or two, we won't even need biopsies because they are so specific. Now, we don't have, I talked to Dr. Akella Ward, a radiologist, yesterday, and we don't have the applications. We have the MRI to do that type of special investigation for prostate cancer, which is sad. I mean, we do lag behind in technologies.
Special consideration must be given to persons infected with HIV and disabilities in the workplace. It's the view of Chief Labour Officer Vincent Burnett, expressed while speaking at the Labour Department's 7th Annual HIV Awareness Drama Competition. Participants presented dramatic pieces under the theme of HIV and you in the workplace too, not just a health issue. Mr. Burnett says the stigma of HIV has an impact in the work environment.
Employers, governments, and international organizations have recognized the importance of addressing matters that impact persons with health issues in the workplace. And further, that special consideration needs to be given to persons living with HIV while in the workforce. As such, codes of practice have been developed.
Mr. Burnett adds that persons with disabilities also experience discrimination in the workplace, but that such persons should be treated with respect.
Further, persons with disabilities are often considered as not relevant to fit into the category of being affected by any illness other than their disability and related complications. Persons with disability do have private and personal lives and can therefore be impacted by sexual-related diseases, and these matters should not be dismissed as irrelevant.
The mother of a daughter who has cerebral palsy has received assistance from the Community Services for the Disadvantaged. Representative from the organization, Desmond Hoyt, made the donation of a mattress to the mother, Denita Louie. She says that children with special needs are in need of more help.
To be honest, I feel good about this whole presentation because for years I have been asking for assistance in certain areas for her, which I do get a bit of assistance from the welfare, and her Pampers are sponsored along with a pack of wipes from a charity as well through the AST Graham Development Center. So that is what I am getting for her so far.
Mr. Hoyt says the organization has helped 4 families so far, and they have plans to help more.
We have to build a ramp now in St. John for a little girl that's disabled. Her mom, we got a sister. And then we have to stretch. We have been launching the project and we're building our community. We need to focus in this community here, but I'm saying we're trying to expand now into different communities, because as a daily basis we go out, we get in people requiring need assistance.
Getting students to dramatize stories might just be another way to get them interested in storytelling. It's a strategy used for the first time at the Ellerton Primary School, where nursery students dressed as cartoon characters on Book Character Day. Nursery teacher Lisa Greenwich believes students at that level will be able to understand stories if they are able to act them out.
I think that we as teachers, we recognize that when you have special events coming up like Valentine's, we have Christmas, you have to use them as havens, as opportunities to teach. You know, teach whatever it is that you've planned for your theme, instead of just, you know, coming in and reading the story. You can make it colorful for the children, and at this age that is important, to have it colorful, to have them actively involved as well. So that's what we've tried, and I think we've been successful thus far.
A dream by her daughter of her mother winning a prize from courts turned to reality, as Joanne Springer was announced the lucky winner of Courts Barbados Make-A-Wish Christmas competition. Her prize, a Hyundai Accent. A motorcade was staged from Bridgetown to Springer's Rock Hall St. Thomas home. It was a shot for the winner. Friends and family all joined in the celebration, extending congratulations. She was then taken to the court's Bridgetown Superstore for another presentation, a Samsung S5 and more photos. Springer said she had no idea what was going on.
Well, I purchased a Hallmark living room suite Christmas time. And the funny thing about it, I was going for it last year before, but somehow it didn't work out. But this year I went for it, and they dropped me some, my husband and my daughter dropped me the entry forms, and I forgot all about it. But then my daughter got this month, and Mommy, Adrian, you ain't signed for courts. I said, me, why don't I win nothing?
When was this morning?
This morning, yes, when I was making breakfast, she said, Mommy, you dreamt you were in something. I said, why don't I win nothing?
Commercial Director of Courts Barbados, Peter Ellis, says Joanne Springer was the lucky winner from over 10,000 entries. He says customers can expect more great promotions from courts this year.
This year is our 50th year, and we have some really great promotions and some great activities in store to actually celebrate. You're going to be hearing more, you and all of Barbados, you're going to be hearing more about this as early as next week Friday, when we're actually going to be launching off our 50th anniversary celebrations right here at Courts Bridgetown store.
Well, other lucky winners were also presented with their prizes at the Bridgetown Superstore. An historic landmark and a major attraction known for its effective and energy-efficient way of producing sugar is in dire need of your financial support to effect its repairs. Sherwood McCaskey reports.
It is one of 3 remaining in the entire Caribbean with the machinery inside, and one of 2 with the capacity to grind sugar cane. However, grinding operations had to be suspended at the iconic Morgan Lewis Stone Tower windmill. President of the Barbados National Trust, historian Dr. Carl Watson.
2 years ago, there was a lightning strike, and there was some damage done. So we were seeking to raise funds to repair that we can once again grind sugarcane.
Dr. Watson speaks about the iconography and symbolism of the Morgan Lewis windmill.
This structure, it's on our 25-cent coin, it's on our $2 bill. This structure is the last survivor, complete survivor of close to 500 sugar windmills that once dotted the landscape of Barbados.
Approximately how much money is needed for the restorative work?
And it's not an awful lot of money that we're seeking to raise. Some $70,000 would effect the repairs. We've already raised about $12,000, so we're looking to raise an extra $58,000. As President of the National Trust, I appeal to all my fellow Barbadians. You don't have to give much. If we all came together and put up $1 or $2, we'd raise the money and we'd have this working in no time at all.
Pledge sheets are available at the Barbados National Trust headquarters in Wildy. Sherwood McCaskey, CBC News.
Still to come, a look at major stories across the region, but first a reminder, we want to hear from you on this question. Do you believe that having Barbados as its hub will result in more business for Barbados? Text yes or no to the short code 8111.